Hey guys, it's Jan, also known as Zen Bluster, and today we are taking a look at the Mach Frame Black Special. There you go. Pretty much one of the latest kits that have been coming out for Tamiya. You know, all pretty much black special. Actually, a pretty good trend that they've been doing. At least, I think maybe they have been listening, because I have been telling people that black specials are a lot more attractive to collect. So let's go ahead and take a look at the item number 95587, coming in at 1200 yen. All right, so let's take a look at what's inside. Let me see. There you go. All right, so first things first, looks like they kept in the super hard tires. Basically, the last version of it, one of the most interesting things about the last Mach Frame was that they already included super hard tires even when it was just the first version of the kit, and them staying with super hards is actually a pretty good thing for especially this one out of the box. You can upgrade this later, you can use it for trimming later on, and that's always a good thing for super hard, because you know it has a little bit more absorption, and then also you know a little bit less grip, and that's actually pretty good for cornering and stuff like that. So pretty good for quickness. Set that aside. Next is the wheel. Let's look at the wheels real quick. And it comes with the gold A-spoke wheels. Pretty funny that they did that. Oh, that's pretty good that they kept with the narrow wheels. That's always pretty good whenever you're recovering from a jump. You know when you're jumping, you have that pitch, your yaw, which is this plane, and then your roll, which is this way. Essentially, when you're landing, there's a few axes that you're going to be bouncing around in. This basically minimizes your roll as it shakes, you know, like that. And if one side hits faster than the other, it helps a little bit minimize the shaking out of the car. So narrows are pretty good for that stuff, and also for cornering as well. You know, narrower wheels will give you a much better cornering speed. So this is pretty good. Let's set this aside, and then it looks like the rear bumper is also polycarbonate ABS, so that's pretty funny actually. I actually think that's actually pretty funny. So the polycarbonate ABS FMA is going to be pretty good once you start cutting it up and then lightening it down, and then basically once you do that, it'll lose some of its stiffness but also still have a little bit more flex once you start doing that. So having the slightly stiffer material, that allows you to keep some of the stiffness even if you cut a bunch of it out to minimize the weight, so you don't have it become a lot less durable. So it's going to retain some of that durability even if you start cutting the chassis. So that's always pretty good. I mean, especially once basically this allows you to have a much better upgrade path later on once you start going up the different levels of, you know, Tamiya. Basically you got the tuned class and then of course open class as well. So that's always pretty good when they do that. And then like I said earlier, they included the PC ABS rear bumper. You know, one of the things that basically you don't use anymore after you start upgrading your car. It's actually, they kept it at PC ABS, which is pretty funny, and it's pretty good that they kept it like that as well. And they didn't really cheap out. Next is the body. This being included in the kit was of course pretty good, because you know whenever you do a black special, the body is either black or you have smoke. There are of course going to be some exceptions to that, but whenever you do the smoke is always pretty much the best thing. It looks really cool. I always like the smoke colored bodies, especially once basically when I first started racing when I was a kid, when I saw the black special Brocken Gigant. Essentially that was a really cool body. So seeing this on the Mach Frame on an FMA, always a good thing. All right, let's set that aside, and then let's look at the hardware. Looks like, yep, an SMC motor. So nothing too crazy about this hardware. They still give you the 3.5 to 1 gear ratio along with the black pinion as well. So that's a default pinion, so not much has changed on that hardware side. Next is the A parts. Let's look at the A parts. Let's look at the, okay, so it looks like it comes with the POM material. Basically, these are much more low friction compared to the other materials. Essentially, I think this is what they use as the gears. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that is what they do. And then these basically retain some stiffness, but they also still have a decent amount of slip, of course, better for cornering and stuff like that. So this as underguard, of course, that being POM is not too bad as well. That's pretty good. It'll just slip. It doesn't bind as much. And then the rest of them really don't, you know, basically benefit too much, other than, of course, the bushings. The bushings being POM is actually a decent advantage as well compared to ones that are not. It'd be a little bit less friction as well. So, all right, let's set that aside. Next is the manual. I think the manual is the same. Yep, really there isn't going to be much new on the manual side, so we're just going to go ahead and set that aside. And then let's look at the sticker sheet. All right, so there you go. Now you can see the black, gold, and I don't know why they kept it with a blue. They could have just changed the canopy color to black. It would have been at least more recognizable, or at least better in terms of, you know, color combination. The blue kind of doesn't make sense, I think. You know, I don't know if you guys agree, but the blue should have just been black. And then the black and gold would have been a lot, you know, more aesthetically pleasing together rather than that additional color. So yeah, I think I would have changed that. That's really the only thing that would have changed, other than maybe lessening the amount of stickers. But yeah, that's just me. I don't really like a lot of stickers. So all right, we are gonna go ahead and rate this kit in terms of value, collectability, and upgradability. But before that, please do me a favor and smash the like button. That essentially helps wake up the YouTube algorithm, and then basically helps me put more videos out like this to you guys, because more people will end up watching it when people do hit the like button. So please go ahead and help me out and click that like button down below. All right, so for value, it comes in at 1,200 yen, but there's a decent amount of extras that was given to the kit anytime they do a change in tire. But they kept it the same from the original one. But I still prefer this one. I would race this one instead of the original, just because of the color combination. So because of aesthetics mostly is what I'd like it. Having the smoke colored body included in, basically it's another collector piece essentially, because the first change, and then it actually is one of the better aesthetically pleasing changes over, as well as smoke body is always cool. And then the POM basically. And that doesn't, you know, doesn't add a lot of value to the kit, but it's always good when they keep basically the box stock in mind. POM is always good for that stuff. And then this being included, the polycarbonate ABS FMA is always a good thing. Like I said, you have a lot more room for improvement later on, so we'll hit that as a value of 10. For collectability, the combination of this chassis with these tires, the super hard tires, and then in addition to that the black special body, pretty much what they've been doing nowadays is always a good thing. And for collectability wise, I'll give it a 10, since it's a pretty much like a limited edition kit, because of the 9 number part number. It's a lot less likely to get reprinted unless it becomes really popular, and if it does, then they might reissue it, but then you'd still have the original like this one over that one. For upgradability, since it's an FMA, there's a lot more attachment points, as you can see. There's so many attachment points on FMA. Anytime that you want to run FM, this is the easiest way to run FM. I would not really go into FMAR unless you have a decent amount of experience there, or in Super FM. Super FM takes a lot more experience. So unless you're really crazy or unless you're really determined, I wouldn't go to Super FM. But this is, you know, like an entry-level FM. I would start with FMA because it's plenty strong for what it has. Essentially, the transmission's pretty good, and so it's the durability on the chassis. So always good when you're running FM with that. And then, of course, adding this to the kit's always a good thing. It gives you more options of upgradability later on down the line. So upgradability is a 10, and that gives you an average score of 10 as well. All right, thank you guys So this has been my unboxing of the Mach Frame Black Special. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, subscribe, and share. And thanks for watching. Go race.